All right, now what were you saying about magic and electricity?
No, I was saying like before electricity was discovered, when it was discovered, I bet it seemed like magic, or the effects of it seemed like magic. So it's just about what we can understand and uncover. But I was asking my man, I was like, what is your definition of magic?
I think like the way I would define magic is as principally against like any of the like if we have a well-known principle, scientific principle, something that just does the complete opposite of that scientific principle, opposite or just makes absolutely no causal sense. And truthfully, me personally, I don't really use the word magic. I'm just more likely to say I don't understand what the fuck just happened, right?
So
Because
let me give you an example. Let me ask for an example. If something were to teleport from one location to another location, would that be magic, in your opinion?
if there's no known, like if there's no known progressive research on quantum entanglement and the shit just happened one day, I would just be confused. Like I would just be confused. I would be like, yo, what the fuck? Like first
No,
thing,
is
I
that
wouldn't
is that
believe what I
magic
saw.
though? Is that magic though? Is what I'm asking.
Is that magic? Like, what, you forcing me to use this word that I don't use? It's magic.
Well, you
It,
tell me what magic is then, because I'm trying to give an example.
that's you want an example? Oh my God. Truth, like I don't know. If somebody could stand out in the middle of like field that I chose in a place of my choosing, stood out in the middle of a field, and I said, move this beach ball across the field and don't touch the shit. And they pointed at the shit and it flew across the field. I might kill myself that day. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. It's over.
So telekinesis then.
Sure.
Well, that we gonna have to agree to disagree, because I'm definitely of the opinion that telekinesis is one of a latent
A
human
possible.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a possibility. It's a
yeah. But
possibility.
that's the thing. I'm not one to
Hey
eliminate,
guys,
but I'm certainly like there's certain things that just I'm gonna think that I'm fucked up when I see it. I'm gonna think there's something wrong with me.
I didn't hear that last part. You say you're
Yeah,
gonna think what?
There's certain things that if I see it, like you said, you believe it's a latent possibility, like, and some people believe niggas can fly. So if I'm at sitting in like TJI Fridays and somebody just takes the fuck off, the first thing I'm thinking is not, oh, he must have unlocked his latent ability. First thing I'm thinking is something's wrong with me, and I need to wake up. Is it, like I'm not going straight to magic. I'm going to this. Yo, there's something wrong with me. I gotta take a walk. I don't know what I just saw. And then when it's on the news, motherfuckers just taking off and flying. I'm like, well, I guess I need to get ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I mean the simple definition of magic is something that's supernatural that can't be explained by science.
Yeah, that's it. By science as we know it, like
But
No,
what? But
what
there's
is
a
by
lot of
reality.
science.
there's a lot of shit that science can't explain right now. So all that shit is magic.
But science
Um,
can not explain some things and at least say we haven't developed the principles, don't have the technology to work this out. But in theory, if this variable and this variable make right, this could happen. Like even if it's an outline, sometimes it can get you there without you actually being able to replicate it.
Yeah, but they're using the definition he just said something that science can't explain. Science can't explain a whole bunch of shit in the universe. So what?
um, well, what can't it explain? I mean, if the things that science can't explain, at least there's some type of theory behind it or something like that. But
But the theory doesn't prove it though.
The theory doesn't prove it, but it gives. I mean, but some of the stuff that can't be proven because we can't get there. We can't collect the data. It's too small. It's too big. It's 700,000 light years away. But it doesn't like. I'm not going to say, all right, well, since we can't collect the data to conduct this experiment, it's then until otherwise proven, this shit is magic. To me, it's just until otherwise proven. I just don't know.
Oh, no, no, no. I'm just trying to get a clear definition. I think I'm just trying to get a clear definition of what we talking about when we say magic. He
Right.
said he said it was something supernatural, can't be explained by science, and so that's why I pressed a little bit on that.
Right.
yeah, yeah, no, that's a good point you made. So let me add to it. It also has to be supernatural because, like 1,000 years ago, nobody knew why was the sun moving. Nobody knew that. People thought it was magic, and then there was an explanation that the sun moving around the sun is perfectly natural. So on top of not being able, having to be explained by science, it also has to be supernatural.
So what is? But then here we go again, because then what is supernatural?
Yeah, supernatural is
it's
one thing.
like
I think it's like
It's not part of nature. It's not something that we have observed happening naturally.
It's something that
something
doesn't
you
happen
can
naturally.
study, but you still won't understand it. Like you can research it, you can do all that type of shit, but you still won't get it.
And then I guess supernatural is going to suffer from the same thing, like the same argument that you're using with the word magic. It's like if supernatural means it can't be attributed to some sort of understanding of the laws of nature, like, all right, well, that's understanding. It could be that understanding is lacking, not that this thing is actually unnatural. We just may not be able to perceive it.
Right. Right.
So I mean, I see where you're going with it. I think it's one of those things we can probably, dig to the other side of the planet and still be talking about the
I
shit.
mean, yeah, it's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to people hear the term magic and it's automatically like this negative reaction, but it's like we just got to get on the same page about what we're really talking about.
I think
I think teleportation is going to happen in the near future. You know what I mean? I really do believe that they're already the atoms, they're already studying the atoms and how they, like you were describing with the quantum entanglement thing.
Yep.
So I think it's a matter of time before all that goes down.
They've made steps with that stuff. So some of this shit is so crazy high level. But the thing that thread about magic, like, I think it's a good thought exercise that the way we're doing it, but the way that I took that thread is they're talking
that's
about
bullshit.
witches and goblins and casting ice spells on motherfuckers.
Exactly. That's why I stayed out of it.
That's
I was
fucking
like, oh, this
ignorant.
is some Harry Potter shit. I'm done.
Yeah, they're playing around. It's like I can't do this. If it was meant to spark this discussion, then I guess it succeeded in a way, huh?
Indeed. All right, so you wanna jump into the topics? Dad, where you at, family? Let's get this rocking.
The president proposes to make community college free for responsible students for 2 years. Everyone saw the thread, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming
You saw the thing, the response. Somebody found some
everybody is
email
with it, right?
Taylor Swift shit. You saw that?
What happened with Taylor Swift?
I think they got a hold of somebody's email, and in the email they took like clips or animated pictures from Taylor Swift's video, "Shake It Off," criticizing, saying, "Oh, this President Obama says this is a free community college program," and then there's like some Taylor Swift picture, and it says, "Yeah, free. If free means $60 billion over the next 10 years," and it was like various little quips like that. That happened today, or at least I heard that on public radio today.
I saw it.
God. That actually, because at first that topic wasn't that interesting to me because it was such a boilerplate thing, but now that actually kind of pissed me off because it's like, all right, 60 billion over 5 years. Let's assume it was 5 and not 10, but I actually think it was 10. Okay, sounds like a lot of money, but this is the easy argument. Everybody goes to it, but our defense budget is like in 1 year several times that.
Don't feel bad about going to that argument because it's
Right.
easy. It's easy. It's like, we spending money. We are lining Wall Street's pockets like crazy, but we can't help the brothers and sisters who's trying to get the free education. Come on now.
2-year degree and fucking boost the economy. More people paying taxes. I'm looking at it how I think they should look at it. If the government is greedy and they want to keep motherfuckers down, you want them to be earning a little more money so you can take more money and you can put more money in your stupid ass fucking defense budget. I feel like they will make up that 60 billion over 5 in 1 year.
Easy.
Once the people started getting jobs.
Easy.
It's just crazy. I don't know. It's crazy that that's the standard.
Oh, wait. He sound like he want to say something. Come on in with it.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna let y'all finish. Go ahead and keep rocking with this.
No, because what it is,
free college. Go ahead.
Listen,
like that word.
it's free to the people who are taking access to the resources. We all take part in financing the project, of course, but what you're really doing is you're investing in people and providing opportunities for people who don't normally get. I mean, because coming from certain backgrounds, people have easy access to opportunities. Like college is a given. You know what I mean? Like you are bred from birth. Oh, you're going to college. I might even go to grad school. I might even get my doctorate. But it's not like that for everybody. But with the right approach to community college, like you can really make a good life for yourself. So it's like, how can you be against that?
Do you believe in the degree inflation? Like, do you believe that's a thing?
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. definitely.
What do you mean by degree inflation?
Simple supply and demand. More degrees out there, the less they're valued.
I think that I think that I think that that's a complex question. I think that's a complex question. Because I think that when you have people who are developing and learning more skills, you can actually increase your capacity for you can increase your economic capacity so that it's almost like that old saying of lifting all boats. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, the value might be seen as smaller, but if you're constantly generating people with higher skill levels and higher intelligence levels who are contributing things back to the society, that can be nothing but a plus.
You
Yeah,
know,
but
I
that's not
think
what's been happening.
if
Besides
you look
me,
at what they used to learn back then, like even in eighth grade, and you compare it to what we're learning now, it's like what we're learning now has gone way down. Like the standards have gone down.
I mean, well, public schools in general are pretty bad, but no,
Like
somebody.
even college.
Yeah, even college. There's too many wasted degrees, wasteful degrees, and shit like that.
I would agree with Light. I mean, I think overall the economic benefits of having a more educated population. I mean, I think that's more important than degree inflation.
Yeah, the-
I think there's nothing beats an educated population. I mean, that's like the holy grail. And us
and,
having
and
like a
and you
bunch
see
of
college as the means, the only means, or the primary means to an educated
One
population.
of the means. But with the resources that are behind public education, if it was put in the right hands, public education could be a great tool to educate the populace.
Yeah,
It could be a great tool. But it's being used, as many mechanisms are being used in our society. It's being used as a mechanism to, nepotism and generate money for, certain. I mean, it's people use the mechanisms of public school to really, do some funny stuff with the money, and so
like
unfortunately.
it's also being used as a form of propaganda and to brainwash kids before they can even grow up and
right.
think about to do with their lives.
You're 1,000% right on that.
Yeah, you are. When you tell kids from early on what's important, that becomes de
Yeah.
facto, and they don't realize like, oh, there's a lot more shit out there than just what they tell you in the classroom. But I mean, either way, I think the base level fundamental shit you learn in school, reading, interpreting what you're reading, like you can't really force somebody after a certain point, as shown, even just in this channel, people are going to start interpreting for themselves. Not everybody, but people will. And like, even though a 2 year, a free, so to speak, 2 year degree may then just become an extension of high school, like that, now, at some point, high school, not everybody finished it. Now everybody finishes it. So now, if this 2 year degree comes out, it's going to be like, okay, you just go. Like, you don't. It's not a question. It's required now because that's just how everything just elevates. I think some people think that's what's happening with bachelor's degrees. This would
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, I've been hearing that.
it would kind of show. I don't think we're quite there with bachelor's degrees, mainly because there's so many fluffy ones that don't get you a job in the first goddamn place and don't give you a skill. But if this 2 year thing, I believe the way he laid it out was that it was going to be for in demand fields and not just any field, any field anywhere. So I believe that, over the course of 10, 15 years, it may it may indeed get to that point where you said it may get inflated, and now we have an oversupply to the workforce. But that has to be balanced out, I think, by other things like that. We need job creators, we need fucking railroads and stuff to make more jobs because we're overpopulated in this. Yeah, that's a different problem.
But I think that's what this community college thing can possibly do is breed more entrepreneurs who are interested in starting and running and learning about their own businesses, and then that can help to uplift different communities in different ways. Because when you start taking over again, into the community economics model, like that's a very powerful thing you can do. And again, it's about the opportunity, because from a 2-year, if you do good at a 2-year, it's very easy to get into a 4-year institution. And once you're at a 4-year institution, if you like you said, if you handle business, then you get your bachelor's degree, and then depending on what you want to do with that, you can go from there. But it's not even just about the degree, but it's about the networks of people that you met along the way. It's about the experiences that you had that are going to set you up for success in the future, which you would not have if you never had access to the community college in the first place.
Does this system survive? Like, not survive in that it goes extinct, but in 10 years, is it effective anymore because everyone's doing it? Everybody is just taking advantage of it.
I think like everything else is good in theory, but it's all about the execution. It's like what are the people doing with the degrees? What are the because there are a lot of whack community colleges out there also. You know what I mean? And so again, it's not necessarily what's happening, it's what you do with it. But I can tell you this: I will tell you, if this is implemented in 10 years, you will have a significant number of people coming from low income areas who made a life of themselves through this initiative, just because of this initiative. I can guarantee you that.
All right. Since I seem to be the lone voice of opposition here, let me tell you how I look at it. When I hear Obama say we need to fund the future of our young people, we need to equip the next generation with the skills to succeed in the 21st century, blah blah blah, and all those quotes. What jumps out to me is that the state has our children for 12 years already. So when he says we need to fund our children's future and equip them with the skills for the 21st century, what are they doing the first 12 years? Like, we give them our students from K through 12, and then when they graduate, you're telling me they're economically useless, and we need to add 2 more years to equip them with the skills needed to succeed in this economy?
Yeah.
That's why I'm like,
is that Obama's fault, or is that the society that we've created, though?
But he's not attempting to fix the problem. He's just adding 2 more years onto it. I mean, I would think it would end up exactly the same way in 2 years.
So what should he try to do? Try to go the reform public education route?
Yes. Yes, that's exactly what he should do.
I believe that.
Okay, so let's talk that through. How would you like to reform public education?
Oh my goodness!
I know that's a big question. I know, but give me. So
we're not going to discuss anything else, is what you're saying?
No. I want to hear, because again, like anything else, once you get into bureaucracies and once you get into something where you are in charge of channeling and funneling public funds, there's automatically going to come with a degree of greed, a degree of control, a degree of ego that is making our public school system dysfunctional. So how are you gonna combat that?
Well, before I answer that, let me toss it back at you. How is this 2-year initiative that we're funding going to be any different?
It will give people who would not normally have an opportunity. Believe it or not, there are some people out there that really do not have opportunities.
This initiative is exactly what public schooling does now. I'm asking you, how would this initiative be different from K through 12?
Because if you can graduate high school, because you can flip a community college degree into a 4-year degree, and you can flip a 4-year degree into a full-time job that you can support yourself with, which is an opportunity that you would not have had this initiative not come along, or an opportunity you would not have had with just a high school degree.
And you don't think that that's a problem in itself? That
of course that's a problem. Of course that's a problem. But
if you look at the money we're pumping into K through 12, and you're saying it's okay that that's worthless, let's just fix college.
Now you putting work. Now
I'm just saying.
I didn't say that.
You're saying, of course it's a problem, but there's nothing he could do about it.
I didn't say that. I didn't say there's nothing he could do about it. I didn't say any of that. I'm asking you what you would do about it. I'm asking you what you think he should do about it. I'm not saying there's nothing that can be done. All I'm saying is this is, first of all, and there's no one thing that's going to fix all this. This has got to be, like, you know what I mean? This is a multi-layered question, a problem, and a solution. Absolutely. But what I'm saying is the added to making a community college free is part of a potential solution. One part.
15 community college is just 2 more years of high school.
It is just extending high school.
But you can flip it into the 4 years. What I'm saying, it's not just about the community college. It's about what you can do by being successful at a community college. You can go to a 4-year.
Whereas if you're gonna adjust to that too, though.
All right, let me look at this. We're extending high school. We're devaluing degrees, and the upside is what again?
No, the upside is a more educated population. Because
That's the all
before,
right. That's the
no,
argument for it. Okay.
no, because the other argument is 100 years ago, nobody went to high school. Only a few privileged
Well,
people
there's states now
went.
where city college is almost free and people still aren't going. I mean, I don't see
Oh,
anything that leads me to believe that it will necessarily
oh yeah, yeah. I don't think it's
give
a
it a more
solution, but
educated
I think
populace.
it's a good idea though.
I think
It's an
the
excellent
incentive
idea.
is to incentivize it. Now
No,
this is too. This is
no,
us
it
trying to
doesn't.
put
In
two goddamn
California, education's practically free at City College, and
right.
only half the people graduate, less
Yeah.
than half.
It's. I think there's a well. Yeah, you're right. We ain't gonna talk about nothing else today. So there's like a host of problems with the way people are funneled into school without, I'm going to say, proper guidance. But like in the K through 12, the existing K through 12 system, we something that I see in other countries that we lack, I mean disgustingly lack, is career training. Like, yeah,
Oh
okay,
yeah,
you can't be an eighth grader necessarily getting ready for a career, but when you're about 15, 16, you can learn a trade. You can start on
absolutely.
learning a trade. You can start some preliminary nursing work. There's some schools in my state and everybody's state that do it, but they're standout schools. Like why can't someone start on their trade? You finish high school, you're a grown up. You
You
come
should be
out. What do
teaching
you know?
code instead of cursive. Like, there's just so much
Right.
waste in K through 12. It's just obscene. It's
You gotta
just
teach people
ridiculous.
how to work. Teach people how to contribute. Like they say it's all foundational in K through 12, but I can't. I mean, we I think all of us in here have been through it. You take social studies like 9 times in K through 12, and it's the same thing every time. It's like then you take shit. You take a lot of obsolete shit. You get forced into taking. I understand the benefit of taking like a foreign language. I really do. But I'm not going to sit and say, all right, well, having the option between Spanish, French, and German versus having the option between taking a welding class, you know what I mean, taking a real wood shop class or a real
Exactly.
machinery class. Like, and you're 18 years old and you already got started, you can already be a junior mechanic. You're That's a more educated population to me. It's a
I
more
think we're
usefully
better off
educated
teaching.
population.
I think we're better off teaching the youth to code or the basics of engineering than we are teaching them Spanish or French.
Right.
Frankly.
Why can't we can teach them everything? Like we don't have to select. But
Sure, sure, absolutely.
I wanna put on your radar a book called The Weapons of Mass Instruction by I think his name is like John Taylor Gatto. This dude was a New York public school teacher of the year, and he wrote this book on the history of like public schooling in the United States. Very, very interesting. And he basically like calls it out, and he's like, the public school system, we wonder why it's so dysfunctional, but the thing is, maybe it's not dysfunctional at all. Maybe it's doing exactly what it was supposed to do, because his idea is that since when you look at who designed the public school system, it was many people who were the high industrial people, like the people high up in banking, the high up in the energy
Exactly,
sector, high up in
exactly.
so
I
what
think I've
so
read excerpts from that.
yeah, and so if you're one of those people and you're running one of those companies, what kind of people, what kind of populace do you want to breed, so to speak? You want to be able to have interchangeable cogs of a wheel or of a gear, so if one pops out, you can pop another one in and keep the whole machine going. And that's
Mhm.
what they're doing. They're creating workers. They're creating workers to uphold their economic interests.
Is that 2 years enough time to do that, or should it be starting earlier than that?
Is
Way
2 years
earlier.
what?
Is that so? So thinking about the K through 12 model now, assuming that it's not a standout great school, you just go through, you do your science, you do your math, you do your English, you get your foundational classes, you don't get any trade skills. Then you do your 2 year degree. You make a decision somewhere at the end of your high school, I'm gonna get my 2 year degree and I'm gonna get it in, I don't know, I'm gonna do it in like low level programming or something, machine level programming. So you got 2 years now. You gotta bang this shit out. And then you gotta be marked. Well, the way you're talking, and not in a mocking way, but the way you're talking is that 2 years is going to turn people who were average high school students maybe into bang, they're ready to go, like ready to hit the workforce. Like,
No.
that gonna work?
Is
Some
the two?
people are just better off going to the workforce from high school. Like, college isn't for everyone.
Yeah.
That's
And
absolutely
when you
true.
make it free, like you really hurt the people that aren't going to college. Like, trade schools are going to be devalued because now that everyone can have an associate's, employers can just say, okay, well, you need an associate's now. It's like a new bar.
That's
Why?
a
How? I don't understand how expanding options is a bad thing. All this is providing more opportunities for people who would not have it before. Because believe it or not, there are people who if you're in a certain region or if you're in a certain part of the country, college is not free. After high school, college is not free, and it's not as accessible as it is in other parts of the country. Here in New York, you can go to college, you can do it at CUNYs for free and stuff like that. But in other parts of the country, it doesn't work like that. So I can see how it's nothing more than just more opportunities. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I can get on with that. It's a degree of better. Like I think, well, yeah, I think you're right. Well,
Not
what's happening is we're arguing about that. It's
not
the
to gloss over
answer to
your
the
point,
problem
but
versus an
you
improvement.
said you just stated an example of colleges that are free, and we can already look and see what the results are. They aren't. I mean, I don't understand what
But
people
that's because
want to say.
colleges suck, just like a lot. I'm speaking in general. A lot of community colleges suck, just like a lot of public high schools suck. But that doesn't mean there aren't people, young students, young black and brown, and all kinds of students who are taking advantage of these opportunities and resources to make themselves better, to provide for themselves and their families and their communities. I see it happen all the time.
Yeah, man. I guess a 30% win rate is still a pretty good win rate. As we're
No,
thinking
it's
about it. Yeah.
the community. What do you mean the 30%? No, the community college graduation rate. I can't even try to justify. It's incredibly low. It's
Well,
incredibly low.
but that's the thing. Like, I'm not actually trying to be funny. Like, if this system goes into play, and it's a 30%, I don't know, 30% of the people who use it are gainfully employed above the poverty level or something like that. That's actually a pretty good result. Like, no one's gonna look at it that
Really,
way. No,
really.
it's if you implement one system that leads to a 30% improvement, that I'm calling that a positive result because
It's
that's
all about
30%.
progress. I'm with the progress.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I think Dad, I think what you're thinking about is
Little
like you're
public
looking for
sector.
the
Thirty
solution.
percent is a success.
Yeah, to me, because if
It's
you're looking
about
for the
progress.
solution,
It's about It's not about hitting
No,
100%
I
with this
get it.
one initiative. You know what I
I
mean?
get it. All right, it's a
Yeah.
step forward.
Yeah, it's about educating the population. I mean, if you get 30% more people that are more educated, that's that's good, and let's do better. That's
yeah,
easy.
Is
it's a
there
good
any
start.
evidence that it will lead to a more educated populace, or is that just the assumption based on more people in college?
More people taking classes equals education.
That
It's
that's
a
that's
narrow
It's
view.
here's what it
that's
is.
generally how
What it does is it provides the opportunity. It provides the
yeah.
opportunity, and whatever statistic you want to look at is going to tell you the more you provide access to opportunity, the more people take advantage of those opportunities, and the better off they are.
Right. Because having attended a city college, I didn't really think educated populace when I was walking across the campus. But I mean, all right, I'll go with that assumption.
Yeah, I mean, some people are just going to be who they are, regardless of what you put in front of them. But I really think about it. If there's a 30% success rate, whatever. If only 3 out of 10 of the people that take advantage of the program get a job that's paying higher than what they had, or get a job that, like I said, pays above the poverty level, that's 3 out of 10 that we didn't get if we didn't do this.
Our
And
defense budget makes it really hard to argue against this initiative.
yeah,
Like you really, I mean,
And not
people are
only that,
spending all this money.
we are still paying Wall Street. And I hate to use that. I hate to use just that general term Wall Street, but it's just an easy way to reference the group of folks who are just
Yeah.
blood sucking, man.
yeah, our money, our allocation. I mean, y'all might have. This was kind of a long time ago, and I'm really just riling people up. But like government waste, it was about government waste, and like they have these
Talk about it.
they they have these they have lunches and shit like that, and they have these meals, and someone like some consultant contractor got their hands on the receipts. Essentially, they showed them the paperwork, and I'm talking about that. They showed them the paperwork, and like
Yeah.
motherfuckers were. It was like $27 muffins. Now, I worked at one point for the government. Don't kill me for that. But I worked a government job, and that's cafeteria food. And it's like, what is it? $27 muffins. It's just like it's this waste, this overlooked. Like, well, it's already happening. Nobody's complaining. and it's just taxpayers' money. It's no big deal.
Nah, see what you not peeping is that it's not a $27 muffin. That's actually a 3-cent muffin, and the other 26.97 went into somebody's pocket and is paying financing they condo on the
No, I'm
Bahamas.
peeping that. I understand. That's why I said it. It's like, yo, what? How? There's so much of this overlooked. Like I thought about it when you said like we're still paying Wall Street, and like to me, the fucking government is its own version of Wall Street with some of this shit. It's like what are we financing? Like you said, a
Yo,
3-cent muffin and $26 are going where? Where? To pay the workers their 5-cent their $5 minimum wage. Where's the rest of it?
and you know what the worst part is? I remember around the time of the bailouts, like 5 or 6 years ago or whatever, when they were trying to press I think it was Bernanke at the time. They were trying to press him about where the money was going, like where all this money that we giving up and that we printing, who are you giving these funds to? And they trying to like get into the accounting books, and that motherfucker just basically shut them down. Like, look, like just basically just like talked around the question. I couldn't believe what I was watching, man. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
That's every time. It's every time. But all right, would it be wrong if I said we should move to a different topic? Because I don't know if we had a
Yo,
stand there.
your Doc Rivers thing is killing me, man. Yo, you need to put like a picture of like, just some fine ass chick. We should all do that, because if we're gonna be doing this, like if I gotta be staring at Doc Rivers for like an hour and a half, that's not gonna be working.
That's how I feel
I
sometimes.
just use the
Man.
same Abby, so I didn't have to even say I'm me.
That is mine on the forums. It's just not animated. Anyway, so should we keep on this one, or should we go on? We got the patriotic topic, and what's the other one? The billionaires topic. I don't know. Are they worth it? I think the billionaires one is. I'm just saying.
A conscious African American can never be patriotic was the thread. That was
Yeah.
actually a really good thread. I actually read the whole thing twice actually. And I had posted it.
Time to do that.
That's a really good question. Like, I actually really don't have a strong position either way. I posted that I disagree.
I mean, before we get into the convo, we gotta talk. We gotta get into the definition. Like, what do we mean when we say patriotic?
I actually, if you read my post, I defined it because I thought that was important too. And
So what'd you put? What'd you put?
I put patriotic, having or expressing devotion to and vigorous support for one's country.
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't. I mean, but you have to. Man, it's tricky. It's tricky because we're a part of it. You know what I mean? Like if your livelihood is attached to it, but you know that it's immoral as far as this country and their behavior, but you're not immoral.
Read my whole post. Here's what I posted.
Man, it's tough. It's tough.
I replied to the thread. So the basic idea here is that black people cannot express devotion and or support for the nation we built because of the treatment we received from the white majority. And then I put, I disagree.
Yeah. Well, no. One thing we have to make clear. I mean, it's nobody's saying anybody has to do anything. They're asking the question: Can you be patriotic? Not is do you have to be patriotic? So to me, it's just a matter of freedom of intellectual freedom. If somebody wants to be patriotic, they can. But I think one thing I didn't say in that thread, I think African Americans and Native Americans are the only people that have the right to not be patriotic.
Right.
It's completely understandable.
What Wings Boy was saying is that if you're black and you're patriotic, then you're not truly conscious. Is what he's saying.
Can you? But is this? So I remember this thread now. So is it too binary? Is it you are either patriotic, meaning you are in full support, or you're not, which is mean you're not in full support. Can you be patriotic can you be patriotic from the standpoint of progress has been made and I'm really happy that we were able to do it as a country? There's still problems, but I'm all about trying to fix them, so I'm all for the country making it work.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Can you? Is that patriotism? Like, I want my country to be better, so I'm gonna ride for it in whatever way I can, and I'm gonna be proud that I'm here because we're trying. Or is it just can you not be proud until all the problems are solved? Because in that case, no one's gonna be patriotic.
Oh, so tough.
basically what we're saying is, can we rock with white people, non-white people? That's the actual question, right?
Is that really the question?
That's really the question.
Wait. Say the question again. Can we rock with white people?
Can we rock with white people? Like,
Yeah,
can we
yeah.
stand shoulder to shoulder with them and be like, yeah, we're in this
No. See, no, I
together?
don't think
Like,
we can stand shoulder to shoulder. But I don't think we're all the same. We don't have to all be the same patriot. But I think we can all be patriotic.
Man, this country. Look, this country is fucked up. It started off fucked up. Its whole roots is entrenched in blood and genocide, and we have been keeping it consistent like that ever since, trying to overthrow the world, going into countries, bombing the shit out of them, overthrowing governments. Like, we are the devil. We are the devil.
well, calm
Nah,
down.
nah,
I
nah,
mean,
nah.
every nation started in blood and genocide and rape and pillage. Let's not, come on.
I mean,
We're not the only ones.
but you know
We're
what?
not the only ones.
But let me. We are not the only ones. But the negative actions of others does not justify our negative actions at all. And the country I live in is the United States of America. If I lived in Zimbabwe, I'd be talking about Zimbabwe. But if I live in the United States, I'm talking about the United States. And we do it better than anybody. We do that
We
shit.
do it better. We do it
that
better.
Shit, we do that shit systematically. We'll fuck you up physically, but before that, we'll just try to get you economically. We just want to run your country and have your natural resources. But if you don't play ball, then we send the guns in.
I'll play devil's advocate. If everybody does it, do you want to be in the country that does it best or one of the other countries?
Because the country that does it best is the one that stands the best chance of changing it.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Exactly. That's
good.
That's kind of the point I was saying. Being born in this country is just a double-edged sword.
Side note, that doesn't justify our budget, but let's go on.
Back to the budget.
But being born in America is just a double-edged sword, and we have to learn how to, understand both sides of that sword. So that's the key. Like everything, well, most of what Light just said is true, but it's also true that there's been a lot of progress. There's a lot of good things that America does. So
there's a lot of good things that people inside of America do. I don't know if there's a lot of good things that America does.
If you're an American and you do something good, that's America doing good.
All right.
Yeah, it's like you're going too far. Like,
no, I'm saying because the system itself, I don't think doesn't really give a fuck if it does good for anybody except for the people who are really at the top eating off of it. That's what I really think. So just because some random acts of goodness seem to happen as a product of our systems, I don't think that that's anything to. The system doesn't want it. The system doesn't want it.
No, I don't think it's random. I think I think America, there's a lot of bad things. Like, let's say the founding of America. I mean, it was founded on slavery. But I do believe that it was also founded on the powerful concepts about individual freedom.
Individual freedom. Don't forget how they wiped out the Indians before the slavery thing even went down. And they damn near annihilated them.
No, but those concepts are very powerful. So all I'm saying is, like, you have to go and study America and take the good things out of it and acknowledge the bad things and move forward. I mean, I think that's.
I hear that. I just think that. I mean, you know what? And I don't disagree with that. I truly believe that you gotta be balanced in your approach. But I think when the overall intent of something is negative, then it has to be painted as negative and not as negative with these shreds of positivity. Because the shreds of positivity are as a result of the individual actions of the individuals within it, not of the overall intent of the system itself. Is what I'm trying to say.
So if you're a patriot, if you're a black American patriot, and you know that there's bad intentions with some politicians, with some defense people, is that a problem? Or can you be a partial patriot? Is essentially what I'm thinking. Like, can you be a patriot because the country has the ability to, or because some community somewhere was brought up and fixed, and black and brown kids have an opportunity now? Can you say, I'm proud of my country for doing that? Despite the fact that we just blew someone into hell across the sea, I'm proud of my country for doing that, and I'll represent it.
You
can
can.
do that?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay.
If we really get it going on this community college thing, like, I would say, you know what, I'm proud that we did that. Good job, America. I would say good job, Obama. Good job, America. Y'all did that. I gotta give you your props.
And you know people would trace the whole argument all the way back to, you know, it's so easy to trace pretty much any good thing that especially we do as Americans back to some sort of version of slave labor or something like that. The person who built that college that everyone's going to for free, his grandfather, great great grandfather was a slave owner, the most brutal slave owner in North Carolina. Way to be proud.
Which would be an absolute fact,
It
but
would
it
be a
would, but it
fact.
would, but it would also be a fact that little Johnny from the
Yeah.
projects went to that community college, got that 3.0, went to a 4-year school, got that bachelor's, and now he's,
They made it happen.
fucking working at, doing some full-time job for Google or something like that. You
But
know
it
what I
just
mean?
it just goes. I guess the reason I said that is just because any of that shit can be painted as negative, and then call into question whether or not you being a conscious black patriot is a real thing. Like, so you can be you would think you're a conscious black person because you're supporting education and you're seeing all of these people that didn't have a chance get a chance, but then you can trace that all the way back and say, yeah, but this whole situation was brought about by blah blah blah.
You know what I think I would have an issue with being called patriot with the whole can a black conscious person be patriotic is when people is when any person, black or white, tries to turn a blind eye to what this country really is and what it's done and what it's currently doing and in its whole the way it operates and it's like on that God bless America shit. You know what I mean? Like God bless America. Like we're the light of the world. We bring in democracy to the world, and we take care of our citizens the best. Like, come on with the bullshit, man. Like that's what I mean when I say that's what I would disagree with being too patriotic.
Right. So
I think
really patriotic is case to case. It's what are you proud of? It's not why it's not are you patriotic, is why are you patriotic? And if you don't have a good reason, which is probably subjective, then you may fall into that category that what's his name on Wings boy said that you can't be considered conscious, because it seems like it was just a sweeping generalization for patriotism, but I just don't think patriotism should just be a binary thing.
that's valid. I think that's valid.
Yeah, and also the other point I was trying to make is like we shouldn't let like white people take over that word patriot. I mean, that's just politically dangerous
Hmm.
for us to just be like, oh, white people equal patriotism equals white people. I mean, where does that leave us? We're
Right.
just we're forever
Nah, I
gonna be on the
disagree, bro.
outside.
Nah,
Are,
no,
are
no.
we?
America's white. Let's stop. No, that's what it means.
America is white.
America's white. American
Um,
patriotism is white. That's not even playing.
I think yeah, traditionally yeah, but I think what exactly are we trying to do? Are we trying to live like for the next 200 years on the outside, or are we going to spend the next 200 years taking over this country?
I think we're just trying to transform America. Like we
No,
want
no,
to
we're.
have something
Oh,
we could be
I'm not
patriotic.
trying to transform it. I'm trying to take over.
I,
Wouldn't that be a transformation though?
yeah,
It doesn't have to be a transfer. Like what we need to do is increase our economic and political power. Period.
I'm with that.
Not,
But that
yeah.
wouldn't. But that's okay. I would consider that a transformation. I would
Yeah,
consider that a
it is because
transformation.
it's that America versus this one is totally different. So it's been transformed. So yeah, I would agree. That's a transformation.
And we have that ability. We definitely have that ability.
Are we talking about taking over and then becoming number one to them number two? Or are we talking about taking over and just abolishing this whole shit altogether? Because if it's the
No, no,
first one,
no. See,
I'm
here's
out of it.
here's how you do it: is that you take over the mechanisms of the social functions of the government.
Right.
Well, man, who's up in the hood?
Somebody,
See, now that's
somebody
some
started a fire.
disrespectful shit. Why I gotta be in the hood? Cause
No,
this
I'm just playing. I'm just joking. It's a joke, man.
I'm fucking with you. I'm
Nah,
fucking with
man.
you.
This about to go. About to be throwing
It
cubes in this
wasn't me, man.
motherfucker.
I didn't mean it like that, man. I'm just fucking.
You about to be throwing them cubes. Mm.
But no, anyway, man. Not like we have to have a strategy. You know, it can't just be like, yo, we're gonna be on the outside forever. That's why I'm kind of like I'm not willing to give up on that work because politically we need to like we can't see that work. We can't let like other people be defined as patriotic and us as unpatriotic.
I mean, I'm with the political movement, but I think I'm a little bit more so than and I agree with you that it needs to be a little bit more economic. You know what I mean? Like political is good, but even a lot of political initiatives ultimately are economic in nature because what do you're trying to figure out like the different distribution of funds, the different the different allocation of resources that come from the political level, which are economic in nature. But we have so much economic power in the grassroots. There's a lot we could do, with or without the political system, even though I think politics does need to be involved. But we should just flip this whole shit and talk about how we can come up as the black race if that's how we want to do it. Like, what are the solutions? What's the economic solutions?
I
Could
thought
do it
that
like
was
Booker
what
T
we
did.
talking about the whole
I
time.
think we're about to get twismed.
We're about to get what?
Prismed.
About to get what?
Prismed. The NSA, all that shit.
Oh man, they got bigger things to worry about than
I
five
don't think
motherfuckers
so.
talking about black liberation on a Google chat.
On a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
No.
We're not
This is
talking
exactly what they care about, like
Yeah.
black
we're not
people coming
talking.
together.
Yeah, we're not talking about black liberation. We're talking about black domination. We're very
I'm not talking about
Bro,
no
you don't
domination.
want to. That's
I
not going.
think we
That's
should
not
be
going to rock,
separate.
bro.
Like,
Officer, I am not talking about black domination, nor have I been affiliated or part of any black domination conspiracies or plots to
Man,
take over the U.S. government.
that sounds like a Pornhub search. Black
I don't
domination.
think that could
Look,
ever happen.
yo, Twism trying to set us up. Yo, Twism, chill, fam.
look. We're gonna take over democratically and economically. I'm not talking about overthrowing the government. I'm talking about using the present systems.
Why do we?
That could
Why do we
never
have to?
happen.
Why do we have to dominate? Why do we have to dominate other people? That's no better than them dominating us right now.
We just
That's
become
just,
them.
What,
yeah.
That's the way it has to be. Like, we could
What-
never
what's
be
wrong-
equal in the same system. Like,
what
that
is
could never
wrong with
happen.
dominating? What is wrong with dominating? What if we?
Well,
do
because
something?
domination will breed
The same hatred.
resistance, man. Nobody wants to be dominated, just like you don't want to be dominated.
Well, okay, dominating in a democratic system, as long as it's democratic, right? We're not talking about putting guns to people's heads. We're talking about there's a democratic system in the United States, so we have to put ourselves in a position to dominate that system.
Well, we don't have the numbers to dominate that system because I mean we could dominate some of our local our regional stuff, but on the national level we don't have the numbers.
No, I don't agree with that. I think the problem is that black people don't have the economic power. Black people, we don't even control our own neighborhoods. That's what happened in Black people don't even control Ferguson. They don't control the stores.
But what I'm trying to ask you is how can whatever we are of the population, whether it's 10-15% of the population, how can 10-15% of the population come to dominate the whole population unless you're the Jews, but we're not the Jews.
Jews did it. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
It's possible.
It doesn't matter whether we actually end up dominating. Even if we fail to dominate, we're still going to be in a dominating position.
So are we just?
Well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is like if we say that we're going to increase our economic power to dominate, even if we fail to dominate, we have still increased our economic power. So whatever steps you're going to take toward that goal is still going to increase your economic and political power.
Like, we're still in the position where we're trying to do it. Like the Chinese, like, even if they're not dominating, they're still like in the position where they're going for it. So they're not getting
But
shit
the
on.
issue, listen though, the issue with that is because if domination is your mindset, then domination will be your behavior. And if you act in a way where you're trying to dominate other people, even if you get there or not, you're going to create tension. You're going to create friction.
It's already there though. I mean, our whole history is we've been on the other side of that.
I'm just telling you what's going to happen.
Our whole history says that the group being dominated, whoever it ends up being, is not going to stand for it. Therefore, the system is not going to work. So, us flip-flopping places and becoming the top of society, if we're successful, what is that? That's just making us them and them us.
And that's just putting the target on our backs, and then you're going to have the same dynamics.
I don't see anything wrong with us being on top. I don't see that.
I don't think it could ever happen in this country.
I just don't.
Segregated.
I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters if it happens or not. what really matters is us being
Absolutely
organized.
matters, man.
You know what? Why not collaboration instead of domination?
It can't
Because you
happen. I
can't
mean,
collaborate. Because you can't collaborate.
yeah,
There are elements. There are certainly elements in the country that do not want to collaborate. Absolutely, but there are certain elements in the country that do want to collaborate. But we should even start by trying to collaborate with ourselves. We're so segmented we can't even
I
collaborate with
agree.
ourselves.
Yeah,
Well,
that's the biggest problem. Like, we hate ourselves. We hate each other.
there's nobody that we need to collaborate with. Okay, we need to get our shit together. Period. You don't need. You don't need.
I'm
You
with
don't
I'm
need
with
to
that
collaborate.
too. I'm with that too.
Like we don't have to. That's what I was saying. Like we don't have. We're not the world's savior. We don't have to go out and be the moral force of the world and make the world a better place. Our goal is
So
to.
you want to? So would you just rather be segregated?
Yeah, he got.
I don't think it
This is
matters.
sounding like that Booker T.
Sure.
That Booker
I
T.
mean
approach.
that's irrelevant. Who cares about segregation and desegregation? I
No,
mean,
it's relevant. We can't rise up in their system using their like means. They wouldn't let us.
yeah. Well, the system that I'm referring to, like, is as long as you have a system that is focused on economic freedom and individual freedom, anybody could do anything within that system. So,
But you know how this goes though. They play by the rules to a certain extent, but then
Yeah,
when shit hits the fan, they just use straight up violence.
like that city they burnt down. What's the name?
Oh, you talking about Black Wall Street? You talking about
Yeah, yeah. We had our shot and we did good, but once it gets to that point where we're getting on top, they will just fucking take it
no,
by
you
force.
can't you
That's
can't let
potent.
that stop
We
you, bro.
can't rise up in their system. That's potent
Yeah,
for so
Um,
many for so many African Americans to be pro state, and then they hear blacks admit we can't rise up in their
no,
system.
we
It's just
are,
like
but there's already examples of blacks rising up in this state. So I don't see why we would say that we can't rise up as a people in this state. Because if you have one person can do it, and if a group of people can do it, and if multiple groups of people, black people can do it, then pretty much anybody can
okay.
do it if you have the right strategy.
but I
So
think what they're saying is at a
how?
certain point, white people hit the switch and hit
they'll
the
push back.
Yeah.
No, and that's without a doubt. But I think that that's why there has to be more of a. It can't be a domination thing, and it can't be a segregation thing. It needs to be a collaborative thing. It needs to be collaborative. The like
How
elements,
can you?
the like elements in their movement need to blend with the like elements in our movement, and we create something stronger.
How can you
you're all right.
collaborate
You're
with
actually
them
being a little too
trying to keep
wishful.
you down?
Yeah, you're
What?
actually being a little too
Do
wishful.
y'all not know how many down ass white folks there are in the world?
They're
And
down
and,
to
Hold
the
on.
and,
point.
and,
Like,
and not only that, and not
they
only
wouldn't be
that.
down if we were on top. You know what I'm saying? Like, they wouldn't be down with us being on top.
That's why it's a collaborative
Yeah,
approach. Y'all are missing
that's what
that.
he's
Y'all are missing
saying.
that. It's a
He's not
collaborative
doing.
approach.
He's not speaking in terms of domination. He's trying to equalize and therefore cancel out the system.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to
well,
I'm trying to
yeah.
link with the like minds of the entire human race. If you Asian, if you Latino, if you Jewish, I don't give a fuck. If we got a like mind and we respect humans and we respect the earth and we can respect each other and live in harmony, I'm gonna fuck with you because if you try to divide shit along racial terms, what you automatically do is it's not that black and white because there are evil black people and there are righteous white people. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna adopt an evil person into your camp and into your home and into your life because just because they have the same color skin as you, that's not smart.
Oh
White
man,
people
I
just
don't
don't
know.
want
The
to
whole
like that.
history of this country has proven that it wouldn't work like that. Like, there's
Yeah,
no.
white people aren't fucking with us like that. That's
Yeah,
Bro, come on, man. There are so many fucking people that just fuck with doing the right thing, man.
to a point.
White
to a
people,
point,
Asian people, all
exactly.
kinds of people, all
As long
kinds
as
of
it's
people.
safe, as long as it's safe, let too many black people move into their neighborhood and watch what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
Y'all niggas negative, man.
we're realists.
No.
That's the way it is.
Y'all. But here's the thing, though. Y'all are giving examples of shit that y'all seeing true. You know it. You're right. There are some people who would be uncomfortable with too many black people moving into their neighborhood. But just on the flip side of that, there are people that would encourage black people and all people, any kind of good people to move into their neighborhood. And there's many kind of people of those too. But y'all ain't talking about them.
When they say good people, they mean non-black people.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Nah.
being light
No,
skinned.
I agree with him.
Light-skinned black
There are the right people out. Like there's the right people out there. And the bottom line is, if we're gonna tap into the right people, which are probably gonna be a minority comparatively, we're gonna have a pretty significant fight on our hands, if not evidenced by history so far.
Yeah, I don't think the majority ever peacefully gives
Never.
up their
Yeah. So it doesn't matter
Yeah.
if
So
we're
what
talking.
y'all really want to take it to the guns in this era?
No,
Really?
No,
No,
Really?
no.
we
I
need to be
don't think
separate.
it's
Like we need to do our own thing.
But the thing is, see, if we
exactly. There
go
you go.
separate, my biggest problem with that is we are now adopting the definition. We're adopting the social construct of race, which was made to put us down.
Exactly.
I think Asians have done well by adopting it.
But Asians a nationality. It's not a race.
All right, the Chinese have done well by adopting it.
You're talking about like in their country?
No, in America.
In here too, they're very successful.
So what you want?
Successful in
Do you want?
America.
Do you want to go back to Africa, Dad?
I would, yes. Ultimately,
I was waiting for that
yeah.
argument to come up.
Would you? I respect that.
I don't know. I would rather fix the shit here because I would die in Africa of various things.
It's not off the table, but I mean,
Africa ain't like what you think, though.
yeah, it's not like what you think.
I mean,
Africans don't.
Imagine if some black leaders here actually took the time to actually go put in some work in Africa.
It's just crazy because in my personal and some of my extended, like secondhand, even third hand, Africans don't really like American black folks.
Nah, they don't, and they don't identify with us either.
Yeah, we're different things though. And that's understandable. We're entirely different places. I think that should show right there. It's like, all right, yeah, we're all black by some stupid racial social construct, but we're not really the same.
But that's fucked up though, bro. Because when you think about it, we're really just like 300-400 years separated, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like we most of the. I mean, it's a long time, but it's really not that long a time when you talk about the whole epoch of like human interaction.
As far as history measures, it's a very short time.
Very short time. Very short time.
So-
and to be totally disassociated,
Yeah.
that's fucked up.
Like I said, all I could really agree with is that if we want to, and with any sort of haste and immediate kind of an immediate result, yeah, probably it's going to be an extreme measure. It's not going to be peaceful. It's not going to be what Dr. King wants us to do, and it's going to have that domination kind of mindset. If we want to do a homeboy saying, and we want to do it collaboratively, we want to find the good people, it's just going to take forever, and it's probably going to require that we just move the fuck out and start over.
And it's never going to work.
It's already happening, is what I'm trying to tell you. And then if you actually go back and look at the last speeches of Dr. King, he was already getting onto the economic tip. There's videos that matter of fact they've even been posted in higher learning where he's like, yo, we need to start getting on this economic empowerment. This community he didn't use the term community economics, but that's what he was describing. He was describing using the mechanisms of society.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't even know what you're talking about. Like when I look outside, I see black dudes getting shot and choked out in the middle of the street with impunity. So I'm like, what is he talking about? It's definitely not cool. Like what are you looking at?
What do you mean? What am I looking at?
Like how are you seeing it that America is in a position where black people can actually work with it and move forward and then gain some kind of true.
Brother, the fact that I'm talking to you on a $1,500 computer, chilling with no police trying to sweat me or harass me, I can basically go outside, do what the fuck I want within the law. That is within the y'all know what I'm trying to say. I
get what you're saying.
Yeah, so there's a lot of freedom, there's a lot of choice, there's a lot of things that can be done, and in fact we actually have it pretty good because in a lot of other countries the government anything we wouldn't even be able to talk like this. They would come and knock on our doors right now and fuck us up, drag us off to jail and probably disappear our ass.
Right, you're sounding very patriotic right now. I'm concerned.
That does happen here too. They have secret prisons. They take away political whatever, and they never come back.
You can't even. There are some countries you can't even speak a word against the government. You speak a word against the government, it's lights out. We doing all this.
It's happening here too. They arrested 54 people.
But I'm talking. I mean, I hear you, and it's true. It does happen here to a degree. But what the point I'm getting at is that in general, we experience more freedom. Black people even here, black people in America experience more freedom than other populations around the world.
I think
that still doesn't mean it's good though. Like we can have I don't understand what you're saying by that. Like, we have a shitty situation here, and just because it's better than other situations doesn't
No,
mean
he's not
it's good.
saying that's acceptable. He's still proposing that we link up and we make this shit better and we
He's saying
equalize
like
shit
we have the
out.
best chance here in America
We have a
than in
shot at
other
it.
countries.
Yeah, we definitely have a shot at it. Like I don't know where I stand on this. Like coming into this, the word domination scared the hell out of me. But
Well,
thinking about
yeah.
it,
Well, I'm
All
still.
right.
I have
Yo,
no
yo, yo, black people are the
nothing
only
to do with
people that
domination.
don't think that way. You understand? Black people are the only people that don't think that way.
Yeah,
Everybody
he's
else
right. He's right.
That is true.
says, yo,
Chinese
we
think
come in
like
here.
that. Fucking
You know,
white.
it doesn't matter. The Chinese are not taking over this country ever. But the Chinese immigrants that come here, their mentality is we're coming here to take over. We're going to take over this neighborhood. We're going to take over this store.
Yep. Indians
That's
too.
true. That's true.
Arabs. They take
Now,
over
now
shit.
I will agree. We could use a little bit of that. We could use a
Yeah.
little bit of that.
So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if we end up dominating or not. It's about your mentality.
but that doesn't see to me those Chinese immigrants and those Indian immigrants that are taking over
Yeah.
on the economic tip. I don't. Now you're gonna have to correct me if I'm wrong if you know something I don't know, but I don't think of them as being trying to be dominant over the
Yes.
majority. They're just
They trying to make a come up.
they're trying to make a
just
come
trying
up.
to
They're trying to
succeed.
get their money right, so
I
then their
know.
influence is right.
I
Like
think
they're
what we're
not trying to
seeing.
be.
And they're trying to be together, like help
Right.
other Indian people.
So I mean
and
that's
stick together.
solidarity.
You
That's
got both
solidarity.
right.
That's economic
I
prosperity.
mean, it just you could use whatever word you want to describe it. But the point is, they have an aggressive mentality. It's not a passive mentality.
It's not. You guys
True.
are talking apples and oranges. Listen, Asians and Indians do not pose a systemic threat to white people. Black people do. When Asians get money, white people don't care because they're not in politics. How many Asians do you think are in Congress? Just say to a white person with a straight face, "How about an Asian president?" and watch what happens. Like it's beyond a joke.
They don't. If you don't think,
Beyond a joke.
but if you don't think we worried about Asia though, we are definitely worried about Asia
Asia,
because
Asian people here, no, stop.
no, not Asian people, but I mean as far as the area, as far
Like
as their
China?
influence, their influence over politics and economics and over other parts of the world.
Yeah, globally, but here nationally,
Yeah.
blacks are the threat to white supremacy.
And Latinos to a certain
Yeah,
extent.
and Latinos to a certain extent.
Mexicans.
Asians,
No, what made just out of curiosity, what makes blacks and Latinos a threat to white
Yeah, I'm gonna
superiority?
ask the same question.
The number of them and the history they have in this country. I mean, this is a
number
black
and the
country.
power.
Too.
Yeah,
Hold up, say that last part again.
The number and the history they have here. Like, black people built this country. We've always kind of been here.
So it's a we know we wrong, so we need to watch out.
So, but check it like this though. Right now we have very little economic power and we have very little economic leverage, and we all know that money equals power. What we do have is a significant population. You know, we were like 10% of the population. So, but if we're not overthrowing this, if we're not affecting this country economically, what are you saying? You saying we're gonna fuck the country up? Like we're gonna do it violently?
well, no.
Like,
it's
how are we a threat? Because we're not a threat economically
Also-
right now.
Also, to add on to his numbers thing, like, and we're American. Like, if you ever, I don't know
That's
how many of
true.
you guys associate with Asians, but Asians are always like Asians in America. They aren't really like Asian Americans.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
They
They're
keep
always
their
like Asians
networks.
in America, Indians in America. We're actually Americans. Like, we pose a completely different threat to the system.
That's
What
true.
threat? What threat do we pose? Is it an is it an economic
I'm not
threat?
gonna even say that there's a real threat, but white people see a threat. That's all that matters. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
over
It's a
what the
perception
threat
of
is, it doesn't matter. But white people
Okay.
see this as a threat, and they do what they can to keep us down, and that
Yeah,
happens on
I
a
mean,
daily basis.
no, and that assessment is correct. I mean, Black Americans are the big. If Black Americans increase their economic power, they would definitely be a threat. I mean, that's the whole.
Then they would be a threat.
Yeah, but
think that
that's
he
still
hit it,
a potential threat. Let's put it that way, a potential threat.
Yeah, I think he hit it on the head by saying the difference is that we're American. We're through and through in this culture, versus
Mhm.
Asian Americans they're Asian Americans. Like, yeah, I live here, but my network are my Asian folks, and my go-to are my Asian folks, and my business is my Asian business. I don't give a shit
Yeah.
about you Americans. I just live here and I take advantage of the fact.
Yo, motherfuckers come here, don't even speak English. Just come over here and hustle. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just to get the money. But
So-
they come over here and they collaborate because there's already a network of support here when they land.
Right.
Well, the difference there is that black people don't trust black people. I mean,
That's
It's
that's a
true.
fucking
That's
fact.
the biggest, one of the biggest things. Like
I
we
mean,
can't
like,
work together.
I mean, I'm guilty of it myself. Like, if I'm going to get my car fixed, I don't know, dude. I don't know what I'm saying.
I
Homie down
was
the
just
street,
about to say that shit.
I ain't about to rock with him. Like, and I don't know, that's fucked up, but that's just the way it is. Like,
yeah,
But I mean, that's what society has bred, though. Society, a highly racialized society, is going to make us more aware of race, but then more skeptical of races that are not our own. Especially when it's set up like how we do it, because we set up everything in opposition: black against white, against Latino, against Asian. They don't want
that's
us to
not what he's
collaborate,
saying. He's saying black people are scared of other black people and they don't trust other
right?
black
But
people.
because I think it's because this country sets it up that way.
Definitely,
No,
but
no,
it's
no.
not. It's not society. It's the government wants it that way.
Well, when I say society, I mean the mechanisms of society, which would be the government.
Yeah. So okay, how are we gonna change that then?
Brother, it starts with me and you. Like it starts with demonstrating this and coming and finding like-minded people who are willing and able to collaborate.
Uh, I don't know about that.
There's no other way to do it. How
I
other
mean,
way are you going to do it
I
other
think no. The way to do it is we have to like create goals. Not you can't collaborate about what. You know, we have to have goals. We have to
right,
have
but you
that everybody.
collaborate you collaborate economic. You look, we do everything the same. We don't have to invent anything new. The economic models are out there. The Latinos are doing it, the Asians are doing it, the Jews been doing it. You know what I mean? We just gotta follow the script. We need to control the economics of our particular neighborhood, which means controlling the flow of goods and services, businesses,
Yeah,
business
but like
owners.
the
Um,
Latinos already love each other. The Asians love each other. How can we work together when we can't trust each other?
But check it like this. I fuck with black businesses. I have black business partners. So it's already happening. So what it needs to happen is, again, it's not trying to convince people to trust black people. It's not about convincing black people to trust black people. It's about finding the black people that already can trust black people and connecting with those people. And then once you build a network of like minds like that, then you start to create a culture. And once you create
Uh,
you feel me? Once you create a culture, anybody that injects themselves into that culture will automatically take on the characteristics of that culture, just like we've taken on the characteristics of this negative American culture. We can take on the
yeah,
positive characteristics of a positive black culture.
man,
you're
this is
talking about like
Ron
grassroots.
Anderson disciple right here.
Well, yeah, this is just like a pan. It's like Pan Africa versus like, like a more harmonious thing is basically what this sounds like. It's like black nationalism, the way Booker T talked about it. We need to first of all we need to get along with each other. Then we need to
Mm.
build and develop and basically get our dough up to a point where we can't be ignored. But all the while we have to avoid all of the outside influence of trying to take us down because we're not gonna be able to do that in secret. If we're building our dough up, that's scary. So
But the thing is that, to be honest with you, we can be self-sustaining. We don't need anything else. So it doesn't matter if other unless this really escalates to the point where it gets like, but I don't even think it would do that, because if you have different cells set up in different parts of the country, you can't just, unless it's just all out race war breaks out and rages the whole country. Like, we can do this because you can't just, fuck, what am I trying to say?
I
Like,
mean,
I know what you're saying,
if you
but
have if
like,
you have several movements that are of a like mind all around the country, you can't,
mm,
unless you're gonna go into an all out war, you can't diffuse all those movements all at the same time. So that's what I'm saying. That can be our defense against
yeah,
getting too big, and then the white man comes for us.
yeah. So Grad, you're really talking your hearts. You're really winning hearts and minds everywhere. Where I think the other side of it is just like just forcefully, not take hearts and minds, but just don't worry about hearts and minds. Just get it done, get the dough up.
I mean,
You're
you
trying to
gotta.
involve everybody, whereas I think the other
I'm only
argument
I'm
is
only I'm
black
only
people.
trying to involve people that have the same moral values when
That's
it comes
what
to
I say.
these
You're
things.
trying to involve any and everybody who wants to do it versus just black people. And these, yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think any movement that limits itself to just black people is ever going to get off the ground to any point of success at all. And if it does, it's just going to get nuked.
well, why not though? Like, what's wrong with us that we can't do it when any other group of people could?
We
I,
can.
because I don't think we're starting from the same. There's the
Oh
same
yeah,
goal. You know what
It's
I mean?
starting from zero. We're starting from like negative 100.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just factual. It's like if we want to start from negative 100, we better be prepared for it to take a long fucking time, or we can short circuit it and find a way. Which I'm not saying that I know that way, but starting from zero, like some of these other ones, they have the benefit of being able to come into the country and start at zero. Yeah, they come in broke, but they're starting at zero, and there's
Hmm.
no the institutional racism or the institutional prejudice. Even if it's there, it isn't the same, and it isn't as easy. Just like the physical markers of a black person, very easy to see us coming. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's
Very easy.
not all encompassing like it is for black people.
Right. So, yeah, motherfuckers
I
get.
also think that's why we need segregation or to like separate ourselves somehow.
Bro, you don't
I
get it. We're going backwards with segregation, man. We're going backwards with segregation.
I
We
don't
got
mean
it.
like full like no interacting or talking to white people, but we gotta have our own towns, our own stores, our own kind
You
of
know what? And I didn't even.
enclave.
I feel you, but I didn't even want to get into this aspect of it. But then it's like the reason I'm trying to get away from like the racial things is because race is such a social construct is that even black people don't even all agree on what a black person is. Like who like you know what I mean? Like black people see black people differently. And so if you're living within these constructs, what's the point in trying to live within these constructs because it just keeps them alive. We got to
Right.
get past that and
That's
start looking at the character. Just like MLK was saying this shit 60 years ago. You got to look past race and look at the character of somebody because at the end of the day, and even when you get into the genetics of it, like how are you really determining what is a black person?
right.
Tell me what a black person is. Is it the one drop rule? Because if it's the one drop rule, everybody on this fucking planet is black.
Right.
So what is it?
Nah, I'm with you on that. I mean, I always wonder why people think black people can just have the like this universal definition of what a black person is. It's
Because I tell you, like we go back to the African comment. The Africans do not look at us as even close to them. You know what I mean? Well, some of them do, but a lot of them don't. And I know of them, a lot of them personally. They'd be like, no, we look at you as Americans. They look at us as white people.
right.
I
And
wouldn't say white, but definitely like
no,
not from
bro, he said it, and the way he was saying it in his cultural context. He was like, I am from where I'm from. You are from where you from. You act like them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He's like, you act like an American, so you're an American to me.
Yeah. I've heard the same thing. The same
Like,
exact.
we are not related. We are not family. You are American. I am you. But they don't say African. They say the country they're from.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm Kenyan personally, and like I've been living here so long, I feel black. I feel like an African American.
How long? How long have you
I
been
know
here?
I'm Kenyan.
Well, you're a
Um,
real African American. Yeah.
I've
You
been
can
here
talk.
since I've been here 12 years.
Yeah.
And where you? What about? And you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. But like, what about your parents? Were they born here? Were they born over there?
They were born there. They came here like in their 30s.
And so when you were born, were they already Americanized?
No, they're still not Americanized, so no.
So you're
So that's
full
interesting. So you consider yourself American? Do they consider themselves American?
No, I mean all the Kenyan people I know and all the African people I know, they all have a dream of going back home eventually and like
right.
living out their life in Kenya.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that.
That's
So that
interesting.
would be more similar to the Chinese folks and Indian folks we were talking about. Stick together, get your money up,
Yeah,
and
we do stick together. We're like, and like being kind of separate from African Americans, I can see from the outside how you guys like nobody's willing to work together, like your community, all that shit. It's looking at it from the outside, it's a huge problem.
I think it's a lot of selfishness. Like a lot of
Yeah, selfishness,
we're not gonna
untrustworthy.
I
we
hate
can't
to I
do
hate
this.
to I hate to ask this question 2 minutes before 3:30, but did you just real quick? Do y'all think that the majority of that untrust does really stem back from slavery, and
You
the and
think
the
so?
ment and the mental conditioning that went on during slavery?
It's from propaganda, if you ask me.
Yeah. It's just I think it's a lot of people going at different speeds, and so you got people blaming. We got black people blaming black people for arresting our progress. I mean, how many
Yeah,
times have you joked around to your friends? when y'all go to the restaurant, someone's being loud. It's like, stop, you're embarrassing us. Like it's that on a large scale, I think is what goes on. So you just but the thing is, the division isn't obvious. It's just sometimes you're embarrassed by what people do. How many times have you turned on TV and seen like Lil Wayne or somebody with all the shit in their mouth? You're like, oh my god, you can't represent
Yeah,
us like
shit
that.
like that, man. Like they
Yeah,
make you look down on other black people.
Right.
it's been said many times, but it's still the when a white guy's being an idiot, it's that guy's stupid, and then when a black guy's
Mm.
being an idiot, it's black people
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
idiotic.
That's
But
how black people act.
yep,
So I think that statement right there is really what, in my opinion, makes I don't know your forum name, Oso. I
Oh,
think
me, I'm A.
all right, I'm gonna go with Oso. So I'm gonna like it's I think that makes your argument honestly as grassroots and as hopeful and glossy eyed as it sounds. I think that's the only one that can really work because the first step to the other one is for us to get along. When is that going to happen? How does that even happen? How do you get people to get along that don't get along, that don't like each other, don't trust each other and shit? You got to go with the people that you trust that have similar thoughts. So they already have a similar thought process as you, because you're not going to change a bunch of people
just time.
first.
I always think it's just time. I really don't like when people try to push initiatives to force these things.
Yeah, it's going to take probably more years than we're going to be alive.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at civil rights is a good example.
It
Nah,
can't just be time.
we about to flip this shit right here, right now. Y'all don't fuck what y'all talking about.
Now, see, this
No,
is
but
the shit
it
that gets
can't
the
just be
prism
time.
going. We're
Because
gonna flip this now.
the, everything else in the society is trying to make you hate each other. Like everything on TV, music, all that shit. So it can't just be time that's gonna make you love each other. It's gotta be, you gotta make it happen.
It's
Well,
one. Listen, it's just like everything else, man. It's one person at a time. It's and it starts with you and me, and the decisions that we make in our everyday lives, and being that example, and trying to motivate other people to live by that example, and connecting with other people who are already living like that example. And then you hit that tipping point, and then it's just a tidal wave.
and you
Based off
can't.
of what like I've seen and based what I've read and about history, like shit just has to hit the fan. Like it really shit hits the fan and then change happens.
What does that mean?
Well, I mean, who knows?
Like
We don't.
Ferguson, for example.
No. Ferguson is not shit hitting the fan. We don't.
Yeah.
We
No, but
don't.
that's an example. It brought black people together
For
in
about
a
a
way
week.
nothing else has.
For about a
Yeah,
fucking week,
well,
like it always does. But we don't want the shit. We don't need the shit to hit the fan. And to be honest, we don't want the shit to hit the fan. We can do this shit nice and smooth. We just got to get organized, and we got to get really on the same page and be strategic about what the fuck we're doing. That's all it really takes.
That's what shit hitting the fan does is it gets people organized. All of a sudden, everyone's ears are open.
Bro, I don't need shit to hit the fan
No one
to get
does.
organized. You feel me?
Yeah,
And I'm trying to build with like-minded people who don't need shit to hit the fan to get organized. Because once shit hits the fan, then you're in a whole different scenario, and you got to move in a whole different way.
that's how change has happened like throughout history. Like it's not always going to be pretty. Like
But why? But we don't need to repeat that, bro. We can create something new. It's 2015. We need to lead that. We need to lead that in the past.
I mean,
it's 2015, but people still people. You know, they
yeah,
need that wake up.
But we sure can't. I don't think we can afford to slap people's hands away that want to be part of a movement. The movement on the non-racial scale, just the like-minded people. We can't really afford to slap people's hand away because they're not black. I think that's gonna weaken the movement in itself.
And
But
what
at the
and
same
what and what
time,
kind of? But
you
hold
gotta
up.
remember they're not.
But what kind of example does that set that we are protesting and we are anti-discrimination, but then as soon as we get a chance to do something, we discriminate.
Yep.
You can't imitate your oppressor and think that you're gonna get out from underneath the exploitation.
welcome to the human condition.
Yeah.
Man, it's 2015. We about to jump on the spaceship, man. I'm trying to tell you, it's a new day. It's a new day, and I'm not just talking crazy. There are literally millions of people who think just like we do.
Yep.
Millions.
That's true.
That's,
And millions who could think like that. They're
That's
woke
time.
up.
That's time. I'm gonna stop the cast.
I respect it.